Am I the only one that didn't know time could just disappear? It sounds absurd, doesn't it? The very idea that an hour could simply vanish into thin air, leaving no trace behind. But what if I told you that this is exactly what happened to Lena one fateful night? A night that started like any other, but ended in a way she could never have imagined. Lena, a night owl, was engrossed in her work when the clock struck midnight. She was used to these late hours, the quiet solitude of the night providing the perfect backdrop for her creativity. The world outside was asleep, but Lena's mind was wide awake, buzzing with ideas and plans. She had always found comfort in the stillness of the night, the way it seemed to stretch on forever, giving her all the time she needed to complete her tasks. But this night was different. This night, time itself seemed to rebel against her. Suddenly the second hand froze, then jumped to 0 a.m. An hour had vanished. Lena blinked, staring at the clock in disbelief. How could this be? She had been watching the seconds tick by, lost in her work, and now an entire hour was gone. She felt a strange sensation, as if the very fabric of reality had shifted around her. It was as if she had been plucked out of time and then dropped back in, with no memory of what had happened in between. Lena checked her phone. 0 a.m. there too. The same missing hour, the same inexplicable jump. She felt a chill run down her spine, a sense of unease settling in the pit of her stomach. She tried to rationalize it, to find a logical explanation, but nothing made sense. It was as if the universe itself was playing a cruel joke on her, bending the rules of time and space just to see how she would react. She felt a chill, the air thick with an unsettling stillness. She peered out the window. The street was empty, shadows deeper than usual. The world outside seemed to hold its breath, as if waiting for something to happen. The familiar sights of her neighborhood now seemed alien and foreboding, the darkness pressing in on all sides. Lena felt a growing sense of dread, a feeling that something was terribly wrong. Turning back, she saw a reflection on her darkened computer screen, someone behind her. Her heart skipped a beat, and she spun around, expecting to see a figure standing there. But the room was empty. The reflection had been so clear, so real, but now there was nothing. Lena's pulse quickened, her mind racing with possibilities. Was she losing her grip on reality? Or was there something more sinister at play? She spun around, but the room was empty. Pulse racing, she checked every room, every closet. Nothing. The house was silent, the only sound her own ragged breathing. She felt a growing sense of paranoia, as if unseen eyes were watching her every move. The shadows seemed to shift and dance, playing tricks on her mind. Lena knew she had to stay calm, to think clearly, but it was becoming increasingly difficult. Back at her desk, the clock now read 12:52 a.m. The missing hour was returning. Lena watched in stunned silence as the hands of the clock moved backwards, erasing the lost time. It was as if the universe was trying to correct itself, to restore the natural order of things, but the damage had already been done. Lena knew that something had changed, something fundamental and irreversible. Her report, mysteriously completed, ended with the words, "I'm waiting for you, Lena." The sight of those words sent a shiver down her spine. Who had written them, and what did they mean? Lena felt a growing sense of dread, a feeling that she was being drawn into something beyond her control. The message seemed to pulse with a malevolent energy, as if it were alive and aware of her presence. Panicked, she bolted for the door. Lights flickered out, plunging her into darkness. The hallway stretched out before her, an endless tunnel of shadows and fear. Lena's heart pounded in her chest, her breath coming in short, desperate gasps. She had to get out, to escape whatever was happening, but the darkness seemed to close in around her, suffocating and relentless. A whisper came from the blackness, her own voice. The sound was faint, barely audible, but unmistakable. It was as if her own thoughts were being echoed back to her, twisted and distorted. Lena felt a cold sweat break out on her skin, her mind reeling with fear and confusion. The whisper seemed to come from all around her, surrounding her in a cocoon of darkness and dread. A cold hand gripped her shoulder. The touch was icy and unyielding, sending a jolt of terror through her body. Lena tried to scream, but no sound came out. She felt paralyzed. Trapped in a nightmare from which there was no escape, the hand tightened its grip, pulling her deeper into the darkness. Lena's mind raced, searching for a way out, but there was none. The last words she heard before everything went black: "Welcome back." The voice was calm, almost soothing, but filled with a sinister undertone. Lena felt a wave of despair wash over her, a sense of finality that chilled her to the bone. She knew that whatever was happening, it was far from over. The darkness closed in around her, and she felt herself slipping away into a void of fear and uncertainty. The next morning, Lena was found staring at her screen. The report now ended with, "I'm here." The words seemed to glow with an eerie light, a reminder of the nightmare she had endured. Lena felt a sense of dread settle over her, a feeling that the events of the night were just the beginning. She knew that she was not alone, that something was watching her, waiting for the right moment to strike. The missing hour had returned, but the terror it brought with it was far from over.